chickens that I got as a first-time homesteader with no chicken raising experience. The first breed of chicken that I chose to be part of my flock is Orpingtons. And specifically, I have two buff Orpingtons. I have Patsy here, that is a hen and a girl. I also have what I thought was a hen at first, naming her Loretta. And we now call him Lo, as it's become apparent to us that Lo has become a rooster. So with Patsy and Lo here, our buff Orpingtons, we chose to get these breeds because one, I live in a climate where in the winters it can get quite cold, and in the summers it can get decently warm as well. Now these birds are pretty good in diverse climates. We can see that they have very fluffy feathers here, and that loose fluffy feather is going to make them very cold hardy. So when those harsh winters come into Michigan, we're going to be prepared to have these chickens. And we also wanted birds that wouldn't just produce eggs and help us with resources, but we also wanted them to be our pets and our friends. And especially with nieces and nephews that come around, we wanted birds that were going to be very docile and friendly, and that is what the buff Orpingtons are known for. Of all of our chickens, we only had one that turned out to be a rooster, and honestly, I'm really glad that it ended up being one of the Orpingtons, because roosters can have tendencies to be a little bit more aggressive, but buff Orpington roosters still have that kind, gentle, docile, and friendly nature. And Lo here is just like that, and he is one of the friendliest chickens that we have, always wants to be cuddled, and is very kind. So that's why we chose the Orpingtons, and from everything we've done with research on the Orpingtons and looked up about them, these birds definitely hold up to those characteristics so far. I'm excited to continue to watch them grow. All right, the next two girls that I want to introduce you guys to are our two gorgeous, in my opinion, golden lace Wyandottes. We have here Reba, and our other one here is Dolly. Both of them are very sweet, very gentle, very curious, and pretty active. That, again, similar to the Orpingtons, really holds up to the breed and their name. Now, again, similar to Orpingtons, these birds can be raised as dual purpose, either for meat or for egg production. So whichever one you're looking for, this can be for both. All of our birds are simply being raised for egg production and as our pets here on the homestead. Now, these girls will each lay about 3 to 4 eggs per week. These are going to be either a cream or a light brown egg. They can be a little bit skittish. They don't always want to be held, but they definitely like to be around you. So even if they don't want to be held, they want to be either like they are right now, sitting on my lap, following me around if I'm walking, or just watching me and making sure they can see what's going on and what's happening at all times. Our golden lace Wyandottes here are very cold hardy, so they stand up well in the elements. Again, my area here where we get pretty harsh winters, and similar to the Orpingtons, these golden lace Wyandottes also have some thick, pretty fluffy, dense feathers that are gonna help protect them in the cold. But once we get into summer and things start to heat up a bit, and it does get pretty warm here in Michigan, so when that time comes, I'm gonna have to make sure that they have some shade that they can escape into, but they will be all set for the winter. So far, I'm loving my experience with the Wyandottes. They've been a great beginner breed for me up to this point, and really, again, just beautiful girls, and I can't wait to see their eggs. Our next birds are here and ready to be introduced. We've got with us here Trisha and Shania. Now, Trisha and Shania are two sapphire olive eggers. The sapphire you can see with their muted coats here. You can see it a little bit more on Shania versus Trisha, who's a little bit more of that black color. They are the same ages as the last chickens we've seen, so same as the Orpingtons and same as the golden lace Wyandottes. Now our sapphire olive eggers here, as you might be able to guess from their name, lay olive green eggs. Sometimes they might come out as a little bit more of a pale green, sometimes a little bit more brown depending on the bird. But most often an olive green color egg is going to come from these birds, and they're pretty good layers, laying about 4 to 6 eggs per week. Now these are not typically ever being raised for meat birds, so if that is your goal, then the sapphire olive eggers aren't going to be as recommended for you. As you can see here, these are decently active birds. We've got Trisha and Shania both liking to kind of climb around. Now these birds are typically very friendly. Trisha here that's on my arm loves to be on us, either up here on our arms. Sometimes she jumps on our head. She might do that here in a minute, we'll see. Shania, on the other hand, tends to be a little bit more skittish. Something that can happen with these birds, she is still friendly once you get her, but she doesn't always want to be picked up right away. Now the last thing with these sapphire olive eggers that I want to mention is how they do in different climates. Now these birds really thrive in kind of the middle ground temperature of either cold or hot climates. So in those extreme temperatures, they sometimes need a little bit of assistance just to make sure that they're staying healthy and comfortable in those super cold temperatures or in the super hot temperatures. But overall, these have been very fun birds to get to have around and get to know. And you can see they keep me on my toes a lot, but great beginner birds, and I've loved having them. These are 2 of the 4 birds that we got after realizing that Lo was a rooster, and we needed to average out the number of hens versus roosters in our flock. So these 2 babies here are our Welsumers. So here we have Emily, Ann, and Casey, and they are both about 3 weeks old. Now these are what we call our little baby chipmunks, because as baby chicks, that's very much what they look like to us. But these are very calm, friendly, and very intelligent birds. So these ones are ready to outsmart you, but are very snuggly and very friendly at all times. So we've had a great experience with our Welsumers here. You can see they're snuggling up right into me, ready to take a little nap here. But once these hens are full grown and ready to start laying eggs, they will lay about 4 to 5 eggs per week. And these are a darker brown speckled egg. So these ones are going to be pretty unique. I'm super excited to see what they end up looking like once they're ready to start laying, but we've got some time before that happens. Now these birds are also very good foragers, so if you're looking for chickens to help get some of the bugs and insects and things out of your yard or out of your garden, these chickens are going to be great for that. Now these birds originated in the Netherlands, so they are especially good in colder, wetter climates, but they're pretty adaptable and do well in pretty much anything. So in your warm climates, they're gonna do pretty good as well. The final 2 chicks that we have added to our flock here are 2 of our Americanas. Here we have our Americana Miranda and our other one here, Taylor. Now these birds are very docile, very friendly, very intelligent, and just like the Welsumers, they're very good foragers. Now these are pretty special birds when it comes to their appearance. You can see where Taylor's standing right now. She has those fluffy cheeks that looks a little bit like she has a beard coming off of her. That's going to continue to grow as she grows up, so she'll maintain that unique appearance. Once they are full grown, they will likely lay either light blue, light green, or possibly light brown eggs. Now these birds are very good in diverse environments and diverse climates, but in extreme temperatures, they might need some assistance for extreme cold and extreme heat, maintaining some comfortability. They do have pea combs that are very small, so that helps them to prevent the chances of frostbite when those extreme cold temperatures do end up hitting. But overall, these are, again, very friendly, very active, very intelligent creatures, and super fun and pretty birds to have around, and I'm excited to continue to see them grow up. Those are all of the chickens that we have on Enchanted Farms, and we will be sure to keep you up to date as we continue to learn more about raising these chickens and how they turn out as they grow up.